All glories to the assembled devotees. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta Antya Lila, Chapter 16, Text 27. Aho bhata svapacho Aho bhata svapacho togariyan Yajjivagre vartate namatubhyam tipostapaste juhuva shashnur arya brahmanuchor nama grinanti yete. My dear Lord, anyone who always keeps your holy name on his tongue is greater than an initiated Brahmana. Although he may be born in a family of dog-eaters, and therefore by material calculations be the lowest of men, he is glorious nevertheless. That is the wonderful power of chanting the holy name of the Lord. One who chants the holy name is understood to have performed all kinds of austerities. He has studied all the Vedas, he has performed all the great sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas, and he has already taken his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. It is he who is factually the Aryan. Sunita kura kahe shastra e satya kaya Sechesta eche yante Kṛṣṇa bhakti haya. Hearing these quotations from the revealed scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam, Jadu Thakur replied, "Yes, this is true, for it is the version of Shastra. It is true, however, for one who is genuinely advanced in devotion to Kṛṣṇa." Amini cha jati amara nahi Kṛṣṇa bhakti anya eche haya amaya nahi arche shakti. Such a position may befit others, but I do not possess such spiritual power. I belong to a lower class and have not even a pinch of devotion to Kṛṣṇa. Purport. In his statement, Jadu Thakur presents himself as being born in a low caste family and not having the qualifications of a bona fide devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa. He accepts the statements declaring a low-born person highly exalted if he is a Vaishnava. However, he feels that these descriptions from Srimad Bhagavatam appropriately describe others, but not himself. Jadu Thakur's attitude is quite befitting a real Vaishnava, for a Vaishnava never considers himself exalted, even if he factually is. He is always meek and humble, and never thinks that he is an advanced devotee. He assigns himself to a lower position, but that does not mean he is indeed low. Sanatana Goswami once said that he belonged to a low caste family, for although he was born in a Brahmana family, he had associated with Mlecchas and Yavanas in his service as a government minister. Similarly, Jadu Thakur presented himself as someone who belonged to a low caste, but he was actually elevated above many persons born in Brahmana families. Not only is there evidence for this in Srimad Bhagavatam as quoted by Kalidas in verses 26 and 27, but there is also considerable evidence for this conclusion in other Shastras. For example, in Mahabharata, Vana Parva chapter 177 verse 20, it is stated, Sudre tu yad bhavel lakshma tvije tachcha na vidyate navai sudro bhavich chudro brahmano na cha brahmana. If someone born a Sudra possesses the characteristics of a Brahmana, and someone born a Brahmana does not, that Sudra should not be known as a Sudra, and that Brahmana should not be known as a Brahmana. Similarly, in the In the Vana Parva, chapter 203, verses 11 through 12, it is said, Sudrayono hijatasya sadgunanupatistaha arjave varta manasya brahmanyam abhijayate. If a person born in a Sudra family has developed the qualities of a Brahmana, such as Satya, truthfulness, Sama, peacefulness, Dhamma, self-control, and Arjava, simplicity, he attains the exalted position of a Brahmana. And in the Anushasana Parva, chapter 163, it is said, Stito Brahmana Dharmena Brahmanyam Upajivati Kshatriyo Vata Vaishova Brahma Bhuya Sagachati Ebistu Karma Bir Devi Subhar Acharitaistata Sudro Brahman Atamyati Vaishya Kshatriya Tamrajet Na yonir na pi samskaro na skrutam na cha santihi karnanani dvijatvasya vrutam evatu karanam. If one is factually situated in the occupation of a Brahmana, he must be considered a Brahmana, even if born in a Kshatriya or Vaishya family. O Devi, even if one is born a Sudra, if he is actually engaged in the occupation and pure behavior of a Brahmana, he becomes a Brahmana. Moreover, a Vaishya can become a Kshatriya. Therefore, neither the source of one's birth, nor his reformation, nor his education is the criterion of a Brahmana. The vritta, or occupation, is the real standard by which one is known as a Brahmana. We have seen that a person who is not the son of a doctor and has not attended medical college is sometimes able to practice medicine. By practical knowledge of how to perform a surgical operation, how to mix medicine, and how to give certain medicines for certain diseases, a person can receive a certificate and be registered as a medical practitioner in the practical field. He can do medical man's work and be known as a doctor. Although qualified medical men may consider him a quack, the government will recognize his work. Especially in India, there are many such doctors who perform their medical services perfectly. They are accepted even by the government. Similarly, if one is engaged in Brahminical service or occupational duties, he must be considered a Brahmana despite the family in which he was born. That is the verdict of all the Shastras. In Srimad Bhagavatam 7.11.35, it is said, Yasya yalakshanam praktam pumso varna bivanyajakam yad anyatrapi drishyeta tat tinhaiva vinhidrishet. This is a statement by Narada Muni to Maharaj Yudhisthira, wherein Narada says that the symptoms of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya are all described in the Shastra. Therefore, if one is found exhibiting the symptoms of qualities of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, and serving in a Brahminical, Kshatriya, or Vaishya occupation, even if he is not born a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, he should be considered such according to his qualifications and occupation. Similarly, in the Padma Purana, it is said, Na sudra bhagavad bhaktas te tu bhagavata mata sarva varneshu tu sedra yena bhakta janardane. A devotee should never be considered a Sudra. All the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be recognized as Bhagavats. If one is not a devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa, however, even if born in a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya family, he should be considered a Sudra. In the Padma Purana, it is also said, Svapakam iva niksheta loke vipram avaishnavam vaishnavo varno bahyopi punati bhuvanatrayam. If a person born in a Brahmana family is an Vaishnava, a non-devotee, one should not see his face, exactly as one should not look upon the face of a Chandala or dog-eater. However, A Vaishnava found in Varnas other than Brahmana can purify all three worlds. In Padma Purana further it says, Sudramna Bhagavad Bhaktam Dishadam Svapacham Tata Vikshate Jati Sammanyat Sayati Narakam Dhruvam. One who considers a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who was born in a family of Sudras, Nishadas, or Chandalas to belong to that particular caste certainly goes to hell. A Brahmana must be a Vaishnava and a learned scholar. Therefore, in India, it is customary to address a Brahmana as a Pandit. Without knowledge of Brahman, one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, a Vaishnava is already a Brahmana, whereas a Brahmana may become a Vaishnava. In the Garuda Purana, it is said, Bhaktir asta vidhahesha yasmin mleche pivartate saviprandro muni shrestha sagyani sacha pandita. Even if one is born a Mlecha, if he becomes a devotee, he is to be considered the best of the Brahmanas and a learned Pandit. Similarly, the Tattva Sagara says, Yata kancha natam yati kamsham rasa vidhanhata tata diksha vidhananena dvijatvam jayate nirnam. As bell metal is turned to gold when mixed with mercury in an alchemical process, so one who is properly trained and initiated by a bona fide spiritual master becomes a Brahmana immediately. All this evidence, found in the revealed scriptures, proves that according to a Vedic version, a Vaishnava is never to be considered a Brahmana, or a non-Brahmana. A Vaishnava should not be thought to belong to a lower caste, even if born in a Mlecha or Yavana family. Because he has become a devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa, he has become purified and has attained the stage of Brahmana. Tvijatvam jayate nirnam. Text 30. Tare namaskari kali dasa vidaya magila jaru takura tabe tanranu vraji aila. Kalidas again offered his obeisances to Jadu Thakur and asked his permission to go. The saint Jadu Thakur followed him as he left. Tanre vidhaya diya Thakura yadi gare aila tanra charana chinhaye tani padila. After bidding farewell to Kalidas, Jadu Thakur returned to his home, leaving the marks of his feet plainly visible in many places. Seiduli lana Kalidas sarvangele pila tanrani kata ekastane lukana rahila. Kalidas smeared the dust from those footprints all over his body. Then he hid in a place near Jadu Thakur's home. Jadu Thakura Garayai Deki Amrafala Manasei Krishna Chandre Arpila Shakala. Upon returning home, Jadu Thakur saw the mangoes Kalidas had presented. Within his mind, he offered them to Krishna Chandra. Kalara Patuya Kola Hoite Amra Nikshaya Tanra Patni Tanre Dena Kayena Chusiya. Jadu Thakur's wife then took the mangoes from their covering of a banana tree leaves and bark and offered them to Jadu Thakur, who began to suck and eat them. Chusi chusi kosa anti felila patuyate tare kauyana tanra patni kaya pasyate. When he finished eating, he left the seeds on the banana leaf, and his wife, after feeding her husband, later began to eat. Anti kocha sehi patuya kolate bariya bahire uchista garte felaila lana. After she finished eating, she filled the banana leaves and bark with seeds, picked up the refuse, and then threw it into the ditch where all the refuse was thrown. Sehi kola anti chokala kuse kali dasa kusite kusite haya premete ulasa. Kalidas licked the banana bark and the mango seeds and skins, and while licking them he was overwhelmed with jubilation and ecstatic love. 38. Ehi mata yata Vaishnava Vaishe Goda Desha Kalidasa Arche Sabara Nila Avesha. In this way, Kalidas ate the remnants of food left by all the Vaishnavas residing in Bengal. Thus ends our reading for today. All glories to Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to Om Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to Sripad Bhakti Nishkam Shanta Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to Sripad Bhakti Vigyan Muni Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees Ki Jai. All glories to Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Nitai Gora Hari Hari Bol.